Hi, welcome back to the channel. This day, I'm sorry about the background noise, but yeah, some people are watching Baby Shark. So, I on New Year's Eve, I hosted a few people, and it was fun. It was really, really fun. Uh, and I tend to cook way too much when we have visitors. And in this, so I have a lot of leftovers. People took doggy bags, but I still have a lot of leftovers. So what I am doing today is trying to make dinner, which is going to be leftovers. Okay, I'm recording this on the second, so it's not like I'm feeding my family on the whichever date I will post this. Um, so that's what I'm doing. So that's why I look busy. Now, today we are going to talk. Okay, so basically, what I had was this. It's a mixture of veggies, and then I had stuffed chicken. So I put spinach and some shrimp, some mushrooms in it, and yeah. So I'm going to try and see how I can, because I have so much rice. I'm trying to see how I can make this look like something different so that the kids can eat it, because otherwise they won't eat the same thing that they ate yesterday. Okay, so while I'm doing that, let's talk about I've been watching the Real Housewives of everywhere. So I basically ran out of things to watch on. I ran out of things to watch, and since I still don't want to watch Kardashians, I want to still be proud to say that I'm one of the few people in this world who has never watched a full episode of the Kardashians. So what I'm doing is I am watching the Housewives of New Jersey, uh, of Atlanta. Yes. Um, And it got me thinking actually about Nairobi Diaries. I don't know what happened to that series. It was not a good idea because I remember watching it and thinking to myself, why am I watching this? I mean, I kept feeling like I'm torturing myself, like I'm punishing myself for something that I had done. I just didn't know what I had done to deserve that punishment, but well. So I kept watching it, and I kept thinking. Now when I'm watching this Real Housewives of Atlanta, now I've never lived of whatever. I've never lived in the States, so maybe that's the reality of their lives. But of course, the news coming out of so many of them being arrested and stuff like that, that's not the reality. Um, yeah, so they are faking it also. But I found it interesting the way the Nairobi Diaries decided to portray Nairobi people, Nairobi girls, Nairobi boys, Nairobi. I'm not going to stand here and say that we are the most moral people in the world, because, well, we are not. But I genuinely hated, and this is me about to sound like a prude for real. I genuinely hated how they made it sound like in Nairobi. Maybe this is the reality. I don't know, but they made it sound as if in Nairobi all people do is just walk around sleeping with everybody, and there was zero morality in that show. There was absolutely no morality. It was just, it was kind of disgusting. I know they needed it for the ratings, but why would you need that for the ratings? That was the weirdest part. The fact that they felt that is what sells. I understand that sex sells, but then there's sex, and then there's something else. Something else which is not very right. I mean, even even in these shows, yeah, it is them trying to look appealing and sexy and all that, but they are not trying to show their body count. They are not trying to show just how their lack of morals, their lack of self-respect. They're not trying to show that. And for me, I was like, if Nairobi Diaries had been put like Nairobi commercial sex people, that would have been commercial sex workers, that would have actually, then you would know what you're preparing yourself to watch, and then you would know, I think that's actually what, because honestly, there was so much, and okay, let me not skip the thought. Let me actually try and figure out how to say this in one sentence. There was just so much admission of just how, I don't know if this is actually how nowadays, because those people are all way younger than me, but I don't know if this is how nowadays people talk to each other. If they do, then I really feel sorry for our society. But I don't think it's normal for a woman in front of cameras. I mean, there are things that I talk with my friends, and if my mother walked into the room, I would be like, no, we're just discussing a movie. And I'm 40. I don't think a normal Kenyan girl raised by her parents, knowing that her parents are going to be watching this movie, is about to sit there and start talking about her body count. I just don't find that normal. If people are doing that, then our society is worse than I thought. And the very fact that the producers on that show felt like this is the angle, because you normally produce something that society can relate to and would like to watch. Like if you watch the Real Housewives of Kawangware, okay, fine, it's exaggerated, but you can there are things that are relatable, This was just so unrelatable to what they were claiming those girls were, because they claimed those were just normal, average people in Nairobi. Normal, average people in Nairobi don't behave like that. They really, genuinely don't. I don't see people behaving like that. I know I only go a few times. Yes, I need to go a bit more, but they just don't. It's, even the conversations just looked so, well, I don't know, it just looked fake, and I wish, I really think that was a great opportunity. They could have taken a few people and just really reflected how the real life is, how, I'm not saying everybody goes to church and everybody behaves nicely, but I mean, there are things they could have done exactly the same thing, but censored a bit more. You understand what I mean? Yeah, maybe. They could have, because if that's what people talk about nowadays, fine, but they could have at least censored it a bit more to make it more realistic, because granted, you're having that red table talk with your friend, the kitchen talk with your friends. I do have kitchen talk with my friends, but if I come here, I'm not going to tell the world the details of that kitchen talk, you get? So, these people, it's not like it was hidden cameras. They knew that they're being filmed. And I understand that's the gist of it, but there should have been a bit more, make it realistic, how somebody would actually talk when she's in public. And yeah, so I think that's what was missing in it. So the other thing I was now wishing was if they would do something like Real Housewives of different parts of Africa, and can they please not take poor people? I want to understand how rich people live. Nothing against poor people, but I just, I have a few friends who worked hard. Some married well, some worked hard and married well. So I have a few friends who kind of have the means. And I look at their lives sometimes and I'm like, oh man, I wish I knew the details of this. Now that is something I would be interested in watching. I just wish somebody would think about that and just make it a bit realistic, because if there are people who actually care about their reputation, they would make it a bit more realistic. They would not exaggerate for the drama, hopefully. Then we can learn a bit about it. Of course, there will be so much hate. There will be, oh, that's not realistic. How can somebody spend that much money on this? Yeah, there are always those people. But then there are always people who want to think about what to aim for. Think about that girl growing up and just wanting to be somebody. That would be such a great idea. Real housewives of different parts of Africa. Different cities have real housewives of Lagos have real house, because my idea of a housewife in Lagos is what I see in Nollywood. She has a boutique. Okay, she is a graduate. She's from a good family. She's married to this billionaire, and she has a shopping complex that she runs, and she has 5 maids in her house, and that's my idea of them. And then she just walks around stressing the maids, and yeah, one of the maids is sleeping with her husband, and well, Nollywood. So yeah, so that's what I get as my idea, and that's just how much Nollywood I watch. But I don't know what, if you ask me what a typical rich wife in Kenya does, I don't know. I just don't know what I don't know how I would imagine them, so that would be nice, Real Housewives of Kampala, Real Housewives of Abuja, Real Housewives of Nairobi, Real Housewives of Dar es Salaam. That would be so cool. I really genuinely think that would be a cool idea. But anyway, reality TV is a mess. It really is. Anyway, my soup is done. The intention was actually to make because the chicken thing was baked. The stuffed chicken was baked, so of course it kind of dries when you reheat it. So now I am cooking it so that it has soup, so that it's a bit more soft, and we can enjoy that for dinner. All right, people, so that's me, and so I'll have this with rice. Anyway, so that's it. Waiting. I wonder if I really want. That would be a really cool idea, I guess. The Real Housewives of different cities. Just don't make it too unrealistic. Think of your target market. I hope somebody does that actually.